There's a few different threads of this story. It's incredibly complicated, very fast-moving, and geopolitics clearly overshadowing the chip sector today. Let's just deal with this report first and what it's suggesting. Bloomberg reporting that potentially the US could use its foreign direct product rule. Now, this is a very wide-sweeping export rule the US has at its disposal, and it means that even foreign-made products, not by American companies, that use even the smallest amount of American technology could come under US restrictions. So the US then could impose export restrictions on companies in Japan, in ASML, and others. And we've already seen this rule used against companies like Huawei a few years back, and SMIC, which is China's biggest contract chip maker, to cut off their access to some of this key chip making equipment. So what does this ultimately mean for one, these companies involved, and two, China? For the companies involved, if we look at ASML's earnings today, 49% of sales going to the Chinese market. That's a huge chunk. Now, ASML has already faced restrictions over the past few years in terms of exporting its most advanced machinery to China. So it's never really been able to do that. That's not a big deal. But if these restrictions impact their older generations of machines, that's where it gets very complicated for a company like ASML. Similar also for Tokyo Electron as well, and other equipment makers. Now, for China, what does this mean? China has been massively hampered by the number of US restrictions we've seen over the past few years on its chip sector, whether that is directly cutting off Huawei's access, like the US did in around 2021, to TSMC, which effectively crippled Huawei's mobile business, whether it's cutting SMIC, as it has done, off from key chip making gear, which has meant that SMIC has not been able to catch up with the likes of TSMC and Samsung in chip making. It's kept it generations behind, those two companies, and also it's kept China's chip making sector generations behind as well, places like Taiwan and South Korea as well. And so there are ramifications on both sides if these even stricter policies from the US do come into effect.
Yeah, I mean,